Hi, and welcome back to Ask a Pennsylvania Dutchman. My name is Chris LaRose, and this here is Doug Maidenford, our resident Pennsylvania Dutchman. How ya doing, Douglas?
One boy.
One boy, he
As we
says.
say in Pennsylvania Dutch.
Are you ready for a question?
Well, now that's a dumb question right there. You know darn well.
Well, that was the question.
Oh,
Are you ready for a
I
question?
am always ready, willing, and able.
Well, you heard it. See ya. I'm kidding. We got one.
We got a real one. Okay.
This one comes from Becky Stolzfuss.
That name has to be made up.
I don't think so.
That's about as Pennsylvania Dutch cliche as they come. Becky Stolzfuss.
Oh, no, I read it wrong. It's actually Becky Stolzfuss.
Becky Stolzfuss. Yeah, where's she from? I can only imagine.
This one's from Becky Stolzfuss of Eckville, Pennsylvania.
Get out. Eckville?
Eckville.
Do you know where Eckville is?
Well, I do. That ain't far from Kempton.
It's a suburb of Kempton.
A suburb of Kempton.
Now, do you know where Kempton is, people?
Well,
you
yes,
got to
I
go
do.
up there to the Northeast Kingdom of Berks County. They got that Northeast Kingdom of Vermont. We got a Northeast Kingdom in Berks County, too, up there in the Alamangle, up in Kempton and up near Hawk Mountain. And then Eckville is right there. Eckville's so popular, there's a song written about it.
Holy moly.
We're going to do a video at some point.
Are we?
Yeah, Eckville Saturday Night. You know that song. You know what I'm talking about. That's Okay, Becky Stolzfuss is up in Eckville. What does she want to know?
Well, she wants to know, I had an argument with a friend of mine the other day who said, throw a couple of logs on the fire. And so I threw 3 or 4 logs on the fire.
Yeah.
And she said, no, a couple, not 3 or 4, a couple, meaning 2. And I said, yeah, a couple is, 3, 4, 5. And she said, well, how many is a few? 5, 6, or 7.
Yeah.
What is the right answer?
Oh my God.
A couple.
Well, Becky's right.
Becky Stolzfuss.
Becky's right. I get it. I just had this argument. Wasn't it at breakfast this morning? What were we talking about? A couple. I don't remember.
Probably Scrapples.
Maybe. He had a couple of pieces. We know. We ain't dumb. The word couple in English means 2. Like you are with somebody, you're dating somebody, you are a couple. I get that. But for us Pennsylvania Dutch, or at least for me anyway, and a lot of people I know, if I can use that, it's about talking about our guitar strings.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, that's it, I remember.
So, here's the example from this morning's breakfast conversation. Chris, what did you say to me?
I said, you haven't changed your strings on your mandolin in years.
I said, it was just a couple of years ago.
Well, when did you have them done? And you said, I did it when I had the pickup put in.
Yeah.
Yeah, and when was that? He's like, 2 years ago. Yeah, a couple of years.
Yeah, it worked. And then you're like, no, it was 5 or 6 years now. And I said, well, that still would be a couple, right?
No, I don't think so. I think I agree with Becky's friend that a couple is 2.
Oh, come on.
A few is 3.
No.
A handful is 4 or
Who's
more.
going to say, no, that's BS, but I call you out on that. A handful is 4. You're sitting at the campfire with Becky and you say, please put a handful of logs on, and
That
you're going to
means
think
4.
right away, 4.
4
No,
or
get
more.
out of here. A few is 3, a couple is 2.
Yeah.
What's something greater than 5? Like I don't know, 8, 9. What would
mess.
that? A mess. Get a mess of stuff.
Yeah.
No, because you couldn't say, how long have you two known each other? A mess of years.
Yeah,
you say
it depends on what person you're talking about.
No, don't know about it.
Oh, it's a mess of years.
If somebody comes up and says, hey, how long you two guys been doing this nonsense? I'll say, a couple years. I know it's more than 2, but for me, a couple is, I don't know, I'm not going to say couple is infinite.
All right, well, let's do the dictionary translation for you. So, a couple. What is the range of a couple? Are we talking 2 to 3?
I think if you're going dictionary definition, it's 2.
No, I'm talking Doug Dictionary.
Oh, Doug's Dictionary.
Doug's Dictionary.
For me, a couple could be anywhere from 2 to 8 or 9, I think.
2 to 8 or 9?
I think
Holy.
so.
I was thinking 2 to 4, 2 to 5.
No, because...
Well, what's a few then? If you got 2 to 8 or 9 as a couple.
I don't use a few. To me, a few is on the lower end of that scale. 2 to 3, 4. 2, 3, 4.
So you're telling me a couple is 2 to 10.
No, 2 to 8.
2 to 8, and a few is 3 to 5.
Because if we're asking a question about like that requires the answer in years. Something is years. How long have you guys known each other? Well, I'd say a couple of years. If it was more than 8 years, then I'd probably say,
Quite a few.
Quite a few.
Okay,
Or-
so you got the modifier. You could be like, it's a couple, it's a quite a couple, a few, a quite a few.
Or somebody says like, well, how many times did you do something? Oh, I did it a couple times. To me, that could be, it could be anywhere from 2 to 8 in my mind, I think. If
I
it's
think
more
it
than
depends
8,
on
then
what
it's-
you're trying to exaggerate.
I don't, well, now come on, what do you mean by that? What do you mean?
You know, I think. Well, you know, like if you're saying,
like a couple of inches.
if you're saying, yeah.
If that's the case, it's 2 to 4.
Well, I mean, if you hiked up a mountain and you're real
Yeah.
proud of it,
yeah.
and you went 10 miles and you're like, yeah, I did that a couple times. You're thinking, I did that twice.
No,
But
not to me.
If you want people to think that you did it like regular, then it's like, yeah, I did it a few times, but you really only did it once or twice.
So what's you're sticking with this definition that a couple is 2 to 3, end of story.
I think a couple is 2.
A 2. And
I think a few is 3. I think quite a few is 4 to 7.
yeah.
And then after that, you got a whole different mess of other number systems.
So if I said to you, and I asked you a question about something that happened in the past, and let's say it happened 5-6 years ago, but you're not 100% sure exactly the number, what would your knee-jerk reaction be? Mine would be, oh, that was a couple years ago.
If it was 5 or 6 years ago, I'm saying several.
Several years ago? That just sounds pretentious.
Yeah, it happened several years ago.
A couple years ago.
A couple years ago is 2.
No, it's more than that.
Well, I'm thinking people like accuracy. So if you say a couple and they don't know if you mean 2 to 8, and I say a couple and they're like, I like Chris. He says 2 when he means 2. He says couple when he means 2. He's reliable.
I disagree.
It's like a Geiger counter. Once you know how many clicks it is, you're getting closer to the right answer. Well, I guess when it's uranium, it's the wrong answer.
I call BS because I've been with you times where you've used the word a couple and it meant more than 2.
It's only when I've been hanging out with
It's
you
like,
for
I
a
rubbed
lot of
off on-
hours in a
It's
stretch.
like when Chris was in
for
high
a few
school.
hours in a stretch, and all of a sudden my couple gets bigger.
It's like when Chris was in high school, and I'd say, how many girls have you kissed now? And he'd say, oh, a couple. I know that was more than 2.
No, I think you knew that meant none at the moment.
So you just said that to make yourself feel good.
Yeah, I mean, I was exaggerating. So maybe a couple is 0 to...
Do you think people use the word couple because they are ashamed of maybe what the real answer is, so they just use that word because it's vague?
I think only when their definition of a couple is 2 to 8.
Oh, for Pete's sake. This is a serious question. Please, let us know. Are you in my camp or are you in his camp?
We want to see a list in the comments section where like a couple is this number to this number, and a few is this number to this number, and several is
And
this
what
number
word
to
do
this
you
number.
use for something that's more than 10?
I want you to go to all the way up to 100.
Anything greater than 10, what word would you use? A lot?
Oh, there's a lot. Yeah, a lot of times. That's got to be like 15 times or more.
A lot of years ago. No,
yeah,
you wouldn't
a lot
say
of years
that.
ago. I've heard people say it. If you say it with a real thick Dutch accent, it sounds right. Try it once.
That was a lot of years ago.
Doesn't that work?
Feels nice.
Yeah, see, you can say anything incorrectly, but you do it with a PA Dutch accent, and you've got instant street cred.
Street cred.
Yeah, instant farm cred.
I've had street cred for a couple of years now. More than 10.
More than 10. Now it's up over 10. Holy moly.
That is a great question. I'm sticking with what I say. And I am going to bet that more people will be on my side of this argument than on yours.
Can we do a poll?
Well,
Can we do that where we have like a voting thing and it shows a little graph?
Maybe. Yeah,
Maybe.
I can put that together. Yeah. And I can put it on our social media feed.
Yeah, we should do that.
So when this video comes out, look for a poll about this question directly, and then we'll see what the audience
We ought to
says.
do a follow-up video.
Well, we will. If people vote, then we're gonna share the results with everybody, and we're going to finally show everybody that I am always right.
No, we'll read it and be like, 99% of people say a couple's 2.
Nope.
1% Doug says
No,
2 to 8.
and that would be my vote, right? I'd be the only one voting for me. No, I'm telling you, people are going to be on my side. I know it. I know it.
So put this on the list. We got a couple, a few, quite a few, a lot.
Well, we'll ask the question. What is a couple? 2 to 3.
How many is a
2
couple?
to 8. Yeah, right. And
Yeah, how many
people
is a
will
couple?
choose.
How many is a few?
Yeah.
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 Yep. I think we got it.
I'm going to win.
I don't think so.
Mark my words.
I don't think so.
Okay, fair enough.
We ought to do a drawing. Put somebody in there for a drawing and they'll win something.
Don't give everything away.
Okay,
Maybe I was
fine.
going to save that for when we posted the poll.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I do know better.
Getting ahead of myself.
Yes, you are.
How did we get here? Who was
Becky?
this? Becky Stolzfuss, Eckville, Pennsylvania.
Because she put more than 2 logs on the fire.
Yeah.
She was right.
Well, you should have listened to your friend.
No, she was right.
All right. Well, I think you heard it from the Dutchman.
We'll make a couple
whether
more
he's
videos.
wrong or not, but still.
No, I'm right.
I don't know. Well, anyway. You heard it. Until next time.
Mock's good.
If you have a question, you have to email us at busterpa@yahoo.com.